Hey mama, it has been a hot minute since I've been actively putting out podcast episodes for you. And before I dive back into that regularly scheduled content, I just wanted to chat with you for a bit about what's been going on behind the scenes and how things are going to be a little different here on the podcast moving forward. Do you want to be an amazing present mom and have a real identity of your own, but you struggle with mom guilt and complete overwhelm when you even think about trying to do something just for you? If so, you're in the right place. Hey, I'm Laura, a former teacher and university career counselor turned stay-at-home homeschooling mom of two. Over the years, I've learned a thing or two about how to be the present, engaged mom I've always wanted to be and rediscover my own personal identity at the same time. So, if you're ready to rebuild your identity, rediscover your confidence, and let go of the mom guilt, then get the kiddos settled and grab an earbud because this podcast is for you. All right, real quick, before we dive into what's new on the podcast itself, I have a super special announcement for you. As part of this whole reboot of the podcast, I have created a free community for you over on Facebook. It's a group full of mamas just like you who are trying to rediscover who they are and who they're meant to be in this stay-at-home phase of motherhood. We're sharing life, talking about all we've discovered about ourselves here on the podcast, and encouraging each other over there. We've got a good number of mamas who have already joined, and we'd love for you to come check us out too. So head over to scatteredwoman.com/community. I can't wait to see you inside. Like I said, it has been a minute since I published a podcast episode. Literally, I published my last episode the end of October 2025, and it is now May when I'm recording this of 2026. So it's been a full 7 months where we have kind of been radio silent here on the podcast. And it's not because I don't love it. It's not because I don't love hanging out with you, but just because life got crazy. Life was lifing. My oldest is 12 years old. We call her Mini Me here online. And Mini Me joined a homeschool co-op this year. And starting the year, I've kind of had everything under control, and then we hit fall break and everything just blew up. I was teaching again, which, I've mostly loved, and I'll have a whole episode about what that return to teaching has taught me really soon. So be watching for that. But I also needed so much time for lesson planning and grading and just recovering from expending that much energy again that I just didn't have time or energy to do much more than survive and keep things running around the house. At the same time, I was also doing a podcasting course to learn how to do this whole thing better, how to serve you better, and eventually make this thing into an actual business that will support our family. But the course itself is awesome. It's very thorough. But that translated in my already busy world to incredibly time consuming. And regardless of how much time it actually took, I just want this podcast to be the best I can possibly offer you. And I can't do that. I couldn't do the course and teach and really focus on the podcast all at the same time. So I decided to put the podcast on the back burner until I could get through the bulk of the course, get through most of our co-op year. And now that I've done that, co-op's out for summer, I'm mostly done with the course, I am back and ready to dive in here on the podcast, helping you rediscover your unique identity as a stay-at-home mom and as an individual that God created on purpose for a purpose. So it's a slightly different focus than we had before. We're not really going to be talking about going back to work and starting a master resume and job hunting. We're just going to be taking a step back and really figuring out who we are now as wives and as moms and as women. A lot of the moms that I've talked to over the past several months have had three main things in common. And I really just wanted to walk those through with you so you can hear my heart for this podcast and where we're going from here based on all of that feedback that I got. So as part of the podcasting course that I'm doing, they wanted me to talk to at least 5 stay-at-home moms and really listen to where they were at and what they were struggling with and what they really wanted out of that season. And so I ended up talking to way more than 5. I can't even remember off the top of my head how many there were, but it was way more than 5. And I heard over and over and over again these 3 main things. First, these mamas told me over and over again that they really wanted to rediscover their own personal identity and purpose. I would hear things like, as a mom, you do kind of lose a bit of your identity because you're sacrificing every part of yourself for your kids. Or another mom said, I used to find a lot of affirmation in work because as a mom, you don't have a boss telling you that you're doing great. And we don't. We don't have really much of anybody telling us that we're doing a really good job as a mom. Another mom said, I just feel like I'm drifting around without a clear path. We kind of get sucked into the day-to-day living and surviving of being a stay-at-home mom, and we just lose a bit of ourselves. So that not knowing who we are piece really makes it hard to return to work without first figuring out who you are and what God made you to do. And that's something that's important for every stay-at-home mom, whether you're thinking about going back to work or not. So we're going to start there. While we're at home with our kids, while we're in that messy middle, we're going to just walk through some really simple, practical tools and strategies to help you rediscover your personal identity as a stay-at-home mom and as a unique individual. So that's the first thing, that we just want to rediscover who we are. We want to figure out who we are again. And the second piece that I heard over and over and over again from these mamos was that they wanted to feel like themselves again. They didn't want to leave motherhood. They love motherhood, but they just wanted to feel like themselves. Like, we knew who we were before kids, but sometimes it's a little hard to remember that right now. I would hear things like, I miss being my own person. Or, I used to be more fun and silly and able to go and have a good time. They knew who they were pre-kids. And then I would have other moms who would say things like, I just don't feel like I'm good at anything anymore. And that's something that we've got to figure out, because don't we all feel like that? I mean, we love being a mom. We waited our whole lives to be a mom. And when we finally get there, we love it and simultaneously feel like we don't even recognize ourselves anymore. We're yelling at our kids. We're falling apart because the baby blew out her diaper again for the 3rd time this week. I mean, we are drowning in the invisible work of running a home. We love it, but it's so hard. And those things can simultaneously exist. It's okay. If you feel like you love it and it's making you crazy all at the same time, you are not alone. So what we really want to dive into here on the podcast is, how can we start finally feeling like ourselves again? How can we feel like we know who we are, like we know what we're good at, so that we can really enjoy this whole season of being at home with our kiddos? So we're going to tackle that question here on the podcast as well. The third piece that I heard over and over again from these mamas that I talked to over the last 7 months is that they just wanted to feel like they were enough. They wanted to feel like they were at peace, both as a mom and in this new personal identity. I would hear things like, I wish I was enough for my family all the time. I'm just not enough. Or one mom told me that fulfillment meant being joyfully present, that she wanted peace among her family with joy and togetherness. And doesn't that just sound like a beautiful picture? But so many of us are just like, no, I am having these crazy emotional outbursts and yelling at my kids all the time. I don't feel at peace. I don't feel like I've got it together in this whole motherhood thing. So if you're feeling like you just don't have it together, like life is making you crazy, even when you love it. There are just so many emotions packed into being a mom, good, bad, and ugly. We experience all of them. We'll talk through all of them here on the podcast. But we really want to dive into how can we start feeling like we are truly enough? How can we be at peace with who we are as a mom and who we are as an individual all at the same time? And I personally believe that it really starts with understanding ourselves. When we dig into understanding ourselves, we rediscover how God designed us to function in our families, in our churches, and in the world at large. We start to see our personal identity as this mosaic made up of all the random pieces of our lives. Our pre-kid careers, marriage, motherhood, our extended families, friends, church families, hobbies, interests, experiences, traumas. All of these different pieces are part of this beautiful mosaic that God is creating from your life. And when you step back, rediscover your identity, and start seeing that mosaic, then you're able to live out your mosaic mom life in all its fullness. And I am so excited to walk through all of these pieces with you to really start talking about, rediscovering your own personal identity, to talk through feeling like yourself again and feeling like you're enough and you're at peace with who you are. I am so excited to see you step into that. So now that we've got this new vision for the podcast, here's your homework for this week. As part of this podcast revamp, I am publishing 2 more episodes today to give you an idea of where we're going and to give you some tools to start rediscovering your personal identity as a stay-at-home mom. So go ahead and dive into those next 2 episodes. There's a ton of great stuff waiting there for you. Also, go ahead and hop over to Facebook and join our new free community. Like I said, it is totally free to join. It's a place where you can get extra support from me, from other mamas who are working through their own journeys to rediscovering who they are and who they're meant to be. And over in that group, you're also going to find all of the free resources that I either create or curate and share with you. And then you have space to share your thoughts and experiences and all about all the things that we talk about here on the podcast. So head over to scatteredwoman.com/community and go ahead and join. I cannot wait to see your beautiful face in the group. Thanks for taking time to hang out with me today. I hope you'll discover new pieces of your mosaic mom life each week. If you've got a quick minute between those never-ending snack requests from your kiddos, I'd love for you to leave a quick review over on the Your Mosaic Mom Life page on Apple Podcasts. Those reviews help other moms find the show, discover their unique purpose, and start building a life they'll love too. Well, that's it for now. Be sure to check back next week for another new episode, and I'll be talking with you again soon.